Hey, how you doing? This is RJ. Today, or rather yesterday, Marvel Entertainment Group came out with its lineup for the New York Comic Con of 2018. Now, I'm looking at this lineup for what they're announcing here, and what I'm seeing is a confirmation of what I've been saying over the last little while, that really comics as an industry is dead. People just don't realize it yet. Or, at the very least, Marvel Comics as a company, as an industry, it is dead. People just don't realize it yet. I would like to spend more time looking at DC, and I'm pretty sure from what I've seen that the same thing is going on there. It's just in a lesser fashion because they're having a little more trouble with the movies. But looking at this announcement for the lineup for Comic-Con 2018 in New York just again shows me that Marvel Comics, at the very least, Marvel Comics as a company, as an industry, is gone. It no longer exists. And I'm going to go over this hopefully briefly today for you, and I'm going to put the link in the description for this, but I'll also put some things up on the screen after a little bit to show you what's going on here. So this is basically a press release. It was put up on Marvel's website on September 5th, and it looks like an article. It has a name attached to it like it's an article, but it's not an article. It's a press release. It looks very much like a press release. It's bullet points, and the caption again is Marvel announces its New York Comic-Con 2018 lineup. And the subtitle is Find Out More About Marvel Entertainment's Panels, Signings, and More. And they give one image to go along with this. And the image is, of course, the Marvel Comics image for the movies. Now, just to let you know, this is the lineup for Marvel Entertainment. For Disney, there are two sections of Marvel. There's Marvel Studios, who deal with the movies, and Marvel Entertainment that deal with everything else, which includes the comics. So this is the lineup for Marvel Entertainment. It doesn't have anything to do with the movies at all, supposedly. But, of course, if they only have one image that they can splash up there for this article, quote unquote, it is the image for the Marvel movies that they, of course, flash up there, even though this section of Marvel, this section of Disney, is not supposed to have anything to do with the movies. Now, here is a quick rundown of their bullet points for what they are going to present at the New York Comic-Con. So, on their bullet points, it lists them from top to bottom as follows. Number 1, Marvel Television, and it speaks about presentation about Daredevil, another one about Runaways, and another one about The Gifted. It has the next bullet point, number 2, is Marvel Animation, and it talks about Marvel Rising, and again it talks about new projects, and then specifically again about Marvel Rising Secret Warriors. Then it talks about Marvel Comics. It talks about big new story arcs, events that are coming up, and that you can meet the writers, artists, editors, and there will be some panels, signings, giveaways, and more. Then it moves on to the next one, number 4, Marvel New Media. And they talk specifically about their web shows and podcasts, which are This Week in Marvel, Earth's Mightiest Show, and Women in Marvel. 2 out of the 3 of which I've covered in some of my videos before. And then on number 5, under that, they do Marvel Gaming. And they talk about Marvel's Spider-Man. They talk about Marvel's Contest of Champions, Marvel's Puzzle Quest, Marvel Battle Lines, and it gives you a link to Marvel games there. And then as an addendum at the end, a little tag on the end, they talk about their booth that's going to be there at Marvel. They give its number, saying there's going to be signings and giveaways, and then it gives the social media tags for everything so that you can follow and be up to date on everything that's going on at the Comic-Con. Now, what I like to do when I look at things like this, to see what their real intent is, of course, you look at not just what is said, but how they say it. And again, the first thing that hits you after they give you the title for this article, which is really a press release, is, of course, as I said, the Marvel Studios, the Marvel Movies logo, which to some extent has become the Marvel Comics logo, but still, that's its origin. And the thing is, again, take a look at this lineup and go with me again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1 is television. Number 2 is animation. Number 3 is comics. Number 4 is their new media, which is very small at this point. This Week in Marvel is less than a 10-minute show. Earth's Mightiest Heroes is about a 12 to 15-minute show. Women in Marvel is a podcast that has zero to do with anything that you would see on the Marvel website, except for the fact that some of these people work at Marvel, or some of these people want to meet people and they work at Marvel, so they go and get interviews with other people. It's ridiculous, actually. And then you go to Marvel Games, which again has very little to do with Marvel. And then it gives you, again, as I said, the little bits on the end. So where is Marvel Comics in this? Well, Marvel Comics comes third. After television, after animation, comes Marvel Comics. And after Marvel Comics comes their new media, which was spectacularly small right at the moment. Now, they're trying to push their new media, and they're trying to bring it into a whole lot more relevance, but it's extremely small. So you have it between animation and new media. So it's listed as number 3. Now, if you look at this lineup, the way that they put it, I would say, of course, since this is a press release, they're going to put the most relevant thing that they see as the most relevant thing at the top, of course, and then they go downwards in relevance. Now, I would say, this is just me, now I don't know this for sure, but to me, the relevance would be their money makers. Of course, television comes first, then the animation, then the comics, then the new media, because it really makes no money at all, because it's barely scratching the new surface, although Women in Marvel has been around for a while, but nobody listens to it. Trust me, nobody listens to it. Then you have Marvel Games. Why is Marvel Games at the bottom? It actually, Marvel Games makes a lot of money. It makes a big splash. Well, I would say it's because, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comments you want to correct me, you go right ahead, but I would say that Marvel makes very little money off of the Marvel games. The gaming companies actually make a lot more money than Marvel does off of the games, and Marvel simply gets the added bonus of their name getting out there and people enjoying a product of entertainment with their name and characters attached to it, which can bring them into their other actual mediums that they own and get the full share of, which is television, animation, movies, and the comics down at the bottom. So this is the lineup that they give here, but I want you to look at something else. I'm going to go over something else here. It should be up on the screen for you. I'll put it up on the screen. But look at the way that they actually tell you what is here. Marvel Television, they go specifically Daredevil, Runaways, and The Gifted. Marvel Animation, they give you specifically Marvel Rising, Secret Warriors. The Marvel New Media, they give you specifically This Week in Marvel, Earth's Mightiest Show, Women in Marvel. Marvel Games, they give you specifically Marvel Spider-Man, they give you Marvel Contest of Champions, Marvel Puzzle Quest, Marvel Battle Lines. For Marvel Comics, they give you nothing specific at all. Not one thing. They talk about generic, new big stories, story arcs, and events. No names whatsoever attached to it. None. They say that writers and artists and editors will be there and surprise guests and giveaways. No specifics whatsoever. In this paragraph where they cover Marvel Comics, in the middle, Marvel Comics is like the middle child, middle child syndrome. It's ignored, right? It's in the middle. It gets no flushing out whatsoever. And of course, this is structured like a press release. And since it's structured like a press release, they're going to be working off of information that they are given, information that they are provided for, information that they want people to know. And if they can't include the information in the press release, they don't have that information or don't think it's relevant enough to put in the press release because it's not important. So, this is the scale of importance that Marvel Comics has within Marvel Entertainment. Imagine how much importance it has within Disney. Marvel Comics is no longer an industry in itself. Marvel Comics is certainly no longer a company in itself. It is not something that grows and is I will call it like a life form in itself. It no longer is even a parasite that attaches on to another life form. It is simply an organ of a bigger life form, which is Disney. It is something that will never be on its own again. It will be something that is never considered on its own again. It will be something that will always serve a greater purpose and will never be an industry or a medium on its own, and therefore it will never be given any relevance as we know that Marvel Comics historically had. Alright, so that's just a short little video. I wanted to do a short little video on this. There's not a whole lot here, but I wanted to give this and talk about this and put it out there. That again, Marvel Comics is gone. These are simply, it is simply being used to feed into larger money makers. It will never be considered on its own again, and we should not look for any new or interesting material from it. It will simply be, it is simply something that is, again, feeding into larger industries. All right, well, I will have a new topic tomorrow. Hopefully a little more cheery topic again. Again, my my last video about Golden Age heroes, actually doing pretty well. I'm glad that people like to hear about Golden Age heroes. I'm hoping to do some more of those videos. So if I gave you anything new to think about, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave me a message. Give me something new to think about, and I will see you later. Bye.